welcome back to my channel. It has been a hot minute since I recorded a video. I've actually had about 3 videos that I have recorded and just not uploaded because I've been second guessing myself. So I thought the easiest way to come back is to do a testing makeup video. So I've done a full face using pretty much everything that you can buy on TikTok shop, and I will talk you through the products and my thoughts, and we'll have a good old catch up, a little bit of a life update. Yeah, I'm so excited to be back, so please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so as an intro, everything I think pretty much is accessible on TikTok shop. So I am going to start off with getting my brushes and a mirror. Okay, got my mirror, got my brushes. Right, so first things first is the HNB Cosmetics Soft Luminous Glow Tint. If you haven't seen this on your For You page, then you're on the wrong side of TikTok. It's basically, oh, it says on it, formulated as a multi-purpose radiance booster with a tint of colour. Apply to face on its own or under foundation for a super glow finish. And I got it in GT6. So let's open her up together. I've literally been saving everything to film a video. I'm kind of in that stage of like, every time I wear foundation it feels too much, but not wearing foundation feels too less, if that makes sense. And we're going, yeah, today I'm going for a nice dog walk with my friend. We're gonna go for pub lunch, so something like this is ideal. So it comes with the actual product, and it also comes with a brush that you should apply it with. So I'm just gonna use it as intended because, I don't know, that isn't, let me show you the brush. I mean, that is not a brush that I would purchase in any way, shape or form. Like, I don't know, it's not something I would buy. So, but we'll try it. I'm using my little ISO Clean, I don't know what you call this, hand palette, because I obviously can't use my back of my hand. So let's see, I'm hoping that this is my right colour, but we'll just put it on, see what happens. It's got a nice shine to it. I don't know how much I'll need, but you can see that. Cute. Right. The only thing is with holding it, I feel like I need this hand, so I'm just going to place this on here and see what happens. I'm going to use this, but I'll probably go with my beauty blender anyway, because I don't know, it just feels like I'm using a paintbrush. Oh my god, this brush is not for me. Let me use my beauty blender. Coco Cosmetics by Chloe, who all of my beauty blenders are from, are actually changing, they're rebranding. So she's having a massive sale at the moment to get rid of all the old stock. So if you haven't tried the marshmallow sponge, now is the perfect time because you can get them on such a good deal. Oh wow, that actually looks really nice, doesn't it? It reminds me a bit of what is it, the Iconic London tint that I use. It's that sort of vibe, and I've run out of that, so I think I'll use this brush to get it on my skin, and then use my beauty blender to blend it in, because yeah, I don't know, it feels like I'm doing like GCSE art again with that brush. So on Friday it was my work Christmas party, my new work, and I feel like I haven't actually caught you guys up. So after losing Joey, I had some time off obviously, and I kind of got to the point of my grief where I was like, I feel like I need to be busy. Like I was just sitting at home on my own all day because obviously Danny went back to work, because men don't get, they get like 2 weeks, which is barbaric. So I was on my own all day, not really doing a lot. I was taking clients pretty much a couple of weeks after I had the baby, but obviously like most of my clients come on the weekends, so it was just like a lot of time I was off. So I got a job at a particular company as a HR manager, and I think it was too soon for me to go back to work, but equally it was the biggest kind of the job itself wasn't the biggest job I've ever had, but the amount of volume of people I was looking after was the biggest I've ever had. It was across 2 sites as well. But the company benefits were really good, and when I went along for the interview, I thought we were all on the same page. Like, I'm a very, very people-focused HR manager. Like, I will fight for my team, as I think you should be. Like, as long as you're not fighting that's going to obviously affect the business, then it's getting that balance, I think, as HR. And if anyone is in HR, I know you understand what I mean. But yeah, so it came to, I'd been there a month, and in that time, it had been like manically busy. I'd been really involved with people. Like, there was a lot of people that were struggling, and obviously with my experience with mental health, I was able to really help them, guide them in the right directions, and I thought I was doing really well. But they brought me in for my probation review and let me go there and then. And I sobbed, absolutely sobbed. Obviously I had a similar situation at the beginning of the year, so it was almost like 1 step forward, 20 steps back, and it just hit me. Like, I think with grief and any type of sadness, your brain will only let you feel so much. So like, I feel like when something happens to you that isn't actually that bad, but because you've been kind of suppressing your grief, it comes out when in situations where it's like not as bad as the grief, if that makes sense. Like, losing a job compared to losing my child isn't the same, but because I hadn't really allowed myself to feel all what I should be feeling, that was like a catalyst, and I was literally felt like I had hit another rock bottom. And looking back now in hindsight, I think it's just because I allowed myself to be sad about losing the job when really I was being sad about losing my son. And obviously, like, if anyone's lost a job, you know there's that feeling of like failure and everything else, which I'm such a perfectionist, such like an overworker, that was just really hard. So yeah, but then I basically applied for loads of HR. I'm normally a HR manager, but I was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be a manager, maybe I should just do like HR admin or whatever. That is lovely, I like that. So yeah, I applied for HR advisor and got an interview for the job I'm in now, and went along. It's a smaller business, and honestly, like, things could not have worked out better. I feel like I'm back in my mojo. I feel like I know exactly what I'm doing. There's like 80 people, which is a much easier number to manage. I mean, with HR, like, you could have 10 people, you could have 100 people, the problems are the same, it's just how much you've got going on. The next product I'm going in with is, again, a HNB. It's Soft Focus Airbrush Concealer in shade SF1.5W. This is my brightening shade, so I normally go in with 2 different concealers. So if I like the texture of this and the consistency, then I will purchase it in the other shade that I was thinking about, but I just didn't want to buy 2 and then I didn't like them. But I mean, I've heard really good things about this. But yeah, so anyway, I've been at my new job since the 20th of November. I've still got that fear that, like, that's the product. I've still got that fear that, like, they're going to turn around and be like, no, you're not right for the company. But I'm just kind of taking it as, like, let's just go in, do our best, and hopefully it'll all work out. And I was invited to the Christmas party, which was on Friday night, which was the start of this conversation, and we was all told we could leave the office at 4, which normally we finish at 5. So, but then at about 3 o'clock, I had a case that I had to deal with right there and then, and I didn't end up leaving the office till 3:30. I was in charge of printing off and laminating all the awards, and I left them on my bloody desk. So I had to text my manager because I don't have keys yet. I literally came home, I had to leave at 6:30, and I was wearing like a red bodycon dress, full beat glam obviously, and yeah, it was so stressful. But because I had to get ready so quickly, I didn't have time to get anxious. But then when I got to the party and I sat at the table, it was filled with booze. Like, it was a table of 10 and there was 2 buckets of beer, 4 bottles of wine, and everyone was like, do you want a glass of wine? Like, I've told people at the work that I don't drink, but I haven't like gone into deep reasons as of yet. because the last 2 jobs that I lost, I had told them, and I just find it really interesting that I've never been let go from a job before, but the 2 jobs that I told them about my recovery, they let me go. So, but whatever. Yeah, so I was like sat at the table with all this booze, and I literally sent a photo to Danny and my sponsor and was like, give me fucking strength. Because it was just like, oh, right, okay. But give the venue their due. They actually had alcohol-free wine, which if anyone else is alcohol-free, you know that most places don't have alcohol-free wine. Like getting an alcohol-free beer now, pretty common, an alcohol-free gin, also pretty common, but to have alcohol-free wine, like that helped me so much. I was so grateful. But I don't know, like I think what hit me was the fact that, this sounds really like depressing and morbid, but it is what it is. Oh my god, that concealer is stunning. Let me do my under eyes. I just basically had this overwhelming feeling of like, I shouldn't be here. And I don't mean that as in like not allowed, like feeling like imposter syndrome. Not at all, like everyone has made me feel so welcome, but it was the fact that like, I should be on maternity leave right now. Like I shouldn't be at a Christmas party getting to know a new group of people. I should be at home with my baby celebrating our first Christmas. So I think it just like hit me like a ton of bricks, and I literally went into the toilet, had a panic attack, text Danny, and he was like, you're fine. Like I didn't end up going away the other weekend because I had such a panic attack and was like left in bed for like 2 days. And like me and Danny were both talking about it, and I was like, I feel like I just need to push myself. So like not going was like not an option basically, because I was like, no, like especially as like the company were paying, like I would have just felt really disrespectful, whereas like the girls' weekend away, like it was only my loss in terms of money and like the experience. So like as much as my friends were obviously gutted and I was gutted, it didn't cost anyone anything me not going there, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I went, I pushed myself. There was 3 courses in between, dinner and dessert. This is the Made by Mitchell liquid blush in shade Shady Business. If you've watched more of my videos, you'll know I literally always use this now. What was I saying? Yeah, so we done the awards in between the main and the dessert, and it all went really well. And then I was outside getting some fresh air and obviously talking to people, and by like after dessert, people coming up to me and having like the same conversations. So I was like, it's my time to go. So I left there at 10 o'clock, literally got there at 7, left at 10, and cried the whole way home. And it's really hard, like as someone that suffers with anxiety, especially social anxiety, like I never got social anxiety when I used to drink because I'd literally have Dutch courage. But now, like, I have to push myself, and pushing myself and showing up means that I'm potentially crying myself all the way home, which sounds really sad, but like I know that the more I do things that are out of my comfort zone, the less that will happen. But it's just so much easier to just stay home, isn't it? Oh, and that was the other thing. I bought a dress. I bought a Club London dress that was like an off-the-shoulder, beautiful, fitted, like red Christmas dress. And it's one of them dresses that where it's off the shoulder, you need someone to like pull it into place. And obviously I was running late. Danny wasn't home from work yet. So I literally was like, get it off me. Because it was long sleeve as well. So you can imagine, like, you're getting ready, you're sweating. So I literally threw it off me and just bunged on the first semi-decent dress I could find in my wardrobe. So when I turned up, because obviously like all the girls at work would show each other what we was thinking of wearing, they were like, that's not what you showed us. And I was like, no, it isn't. So yeah, but I'm glad I went. But like yesterday, I was just so tired because like you obviously don't get a hangover when you don't drink, but you still get like the social hangover. This is Made by Mitchell blush in shade Can't Cope with Coral. Yeah, you still get a social hangover. So like, I planned to film yesterday. I planned to do loads of chores yesterday, but I went for a power nap and woke up at 5 o'clock, and Danny was like, I'm on my way home, what are we doing tonight? And I was like, oh, whoopsie, whoopsie. But, you know, if that's what I need to do, that's what I need to do. Obviously, like, this is our first Christmas without our son, which should have been our first Christmas with our son. So it's natural that my emotions are kind of all over the place, but I'm absolutely loving having a job that I feel really comfortable and confident in, like being back in the office 5 days a week and it being local as well. Like, my social anxiety and all that doesn't really flare up now at work, which is really good. Like, I feel like I've gone in, I've literally got my feet under the desk and just cracked on, because it's a small business. Like, there's always so much to do, and like there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been put in place yet. Like, they've got the crux of everything, which makes my job a lot easier, but there's a lot of stuff that we can fine tune. So like, every day is really exciting because there's always something, which I love. Like, I love working in HR. Like, I love helping other people, if you haven't gathered that by now. So yeah, like, really, really happy with the role. So I've just realised the whole reason I wanted to test half of this stuff was for the Beauty Cop Gripping Primer, and I completely forgot to test it, so we'll have to do another video testing that, won't we? But they basically had a set on TikTok Shop with their viral gripping primer, their viral hydrating dual phase setting mist, and then the setting powder. This one I've already had, so I've got a brand new one that was coming in the set. They didn't send me this dusty one, but there's no point me opening another one, so I'm just going to use this now to set all my liquids. Devo. I'm so excited to use that. Oh well. I've also got the L'Oreal 3-second setting mist, which I did try out on Friday night. So what I'm going to do is, in order to try both, I'm going to set my liquids with this and then set my overall look with this. But I literally cried all the way home from the Christmas party on Friday, and I literally just like used my powder puff to like pat in my face when I got home, and I shit you not, you could not tell I was crying. Like, you could not tell I was crying. Unless you came up close, you couldn't tell. So already, the only thing I'll say with this, it smells like hairspray. Like, I'm wondering if it is actually hairspray. If you grew up in the UK and went to school between like 2007 and like 2011, you know we all used to use hairspray for set and makeup, and I am 90% sure this is just a hairspray. But, you know, whatever. We'll see if I break out, because if you use hairspray, you will break out. So, yeah, going in with a Vitamin Babe setting powder. But, yeah, so this Christmas is going to be really tough. Oh, that's annoying. I've just put powder all over me. But I'm trying to, like, see it as just an opportunity to, like, have a slow Christmas, because I think sometimes Christmas can be really, like, here, there and everywhere. Like, we basically do the same thing every Christmas. Like, we go to my mum and stepdad's on Christmas Day, and then we host Danny's family on Boxing Day. So there's nothing new. Like, we haven't got to travel too far. Like, our travel will actually be less this year because my brother and sister-in-law now live in the same borough as me, whereas before they lived like 2 boroughs away. So like, it was like half an hour to pick them up, and then obviously my mum lives an hour and a half from us, so it's like a 2-hour journey. And then obviously we drop them home on the way back. So this year will be a lot easier because they literally live like 10-15 minutes away. I do like this powder, although I will say it's not my favourite. Purely because I find it's quite drying, and I know powder is obviously meant to mattify, but I find like in my under eyes it is quite, I find that it separates my makeup a little bit, but for the sake of this video I will suffer it. And I'm hoping actually by using this, and then I'm going to put their setting spray on, that might be the trick, the combo, you know. Right, I'm using a little bit of powder because I don't really like that powder. Yeah, so it's going to be really hard this Christmas. I'm not oblivious to thinking that it isn't. Right, so this is the packaging. It says shake well before use. I'm just going to do I don't know if it's going to have like droplets or, oh no, it's a mist. Oh, that's a nice mist, right? Wow, that is so fine. Like, I can barely even feel that. slap it on there, girl. Oh my god, that smells so nice. Enriched with cherry extract and hyaluronic acid. We love a bit of hyaluronic acid. It is really ultra fine. My favourite setting spray is the Morphe one, but actually I think if this one works in terms of keeping makeup on, I think that's better in terms of the mist. I love a fine mist. My ride or die used to be the Urban Decay setting spray, but I just find it's like not a great like application. Like, I feel like it kind of squirts out rather than mists out. Right, so now I'm gonna go with my powder. So I don't have a TikTok Shop bronzer because I always use MAC Give Me Sun, but I found I have a Dull Beauty bronzer, which obviously Dull Beauty is on TikTok Shop. I am 90% sure that this is not my shade and it's too dark, but we're gonna try it anyway. Yeah, that is how dark that is. I mean, I compared it to my Give Me Sun and it isn't that much darker, but my Give Me Sun is my like darker shade anyway, so we're just gonna have to be super gentle. My brushes aren't clean. I'm going to do them after this video, so let's not judge. Yeah, so Boxing Day we'll be hosting, which will be lovely. So we're just going to have a really chilled Christmas. We have booked Thailand for February, so oh, I've just dropped it. No, it hasn't cracked. Yeah, we booked Thailand for February, so we are last night. Bearing in mind, we've been talking about going to Thailand since we lost Joey. Like, we decided, like, we're gonna go on a big once-in-a-lifetime trip that we wouldn't have been able to go on if we had had the baby come home. And I just feel like, we both said, like, I feel like he would have been that person when he grows up that would go travelling. Like, I don't know why, like, just get that vibe. So we said, right, well, we're gonna do it for him, kind of thing. So last night, we finally finalised our itinerary because we're going for 2 weeks, so we don't want to like over travel, but also like we don't know if we'll be able to go back to Thailand anytime soon. Like, obviously if we do have a baby, if we went back with kids, it'd be a very different experience. Like, we wouldn't be able to travel as freely, so we're trying to get like as much as possible in 2 weeks, but not be constantly like on a boat, constantly on a plane. Sorry, my eyelash is just poking down. But yeah, so I'm not going to say the itinerary because it has changed about 100 times. Did you guys know there's over, I think there's 1,400 and something islands in Thailand. I thought there was like 6 and we're struggling to choose through them. So when I saw that, I was like, we just need to make a decision. But it's really hard because obviously Thailand is relatively big, and so we're flying into Bangkok and then we're going to fly up to Chiang Mai because I really want to go to the particular elephant sanctuary up there, and there's really beautiful waterfalls up there. So you go from like central to north, but then all the islands are basically down south that we want to go to. And don't get me wrong, like the flights from south to north are like an hour, 2 hours top. So it's in comparison to the 13-hour flight to get there, not a big deal. But obviously you've got to get to the airport, you've got to like pack up all your stuff, take it with you. Like, we're just going to take backpacks and use laundriettes out there. Like, this is going to be the lightest pack with me you would have ever seen. So I'm not really worried about the packing and stuff like that, but I just feel like we're gonna like just settle and then we're gonna move, then we're just gonna settle and we're gonna move. But then I said to Danny last night, like, I'm not seeing this as like a relaxing holiday, I'm seeing it as an adventure. So like, I'm never gonna do a holiday like this probably again. Like, if we went back to Thailand, we'd probably go back to an island that we've been to and just spend time there, and maybe like island hop between like a couple. So we worked out last night that we've already booked a hotel in Bangkok, thank God. So we've got 7 different accommodations, whether that be hotel, apartments, hostels, to book for 2 weeks. And I'm like really not fussy when it comes to hotels, apartments, whatever. Like, I will literally stay pretty much wherever, like, as long as it's clean and as long as like the location's okay, I'm pretty happy. Like, obviously, like going with your partner, I think you have that element of like safety, do you know what I mean? Whereas Danny has to like make sure that it's got good reviews, that it's done this, done that. And don't get me wrong, I love him for it, but like, that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. And then he'll be like comparing hotel to hotel and like checking the maps. And obviously you're looking at a country that isn't in the same language as you, for one, somewhere you've never been before. So like you then looking at like the restaurants around the hotel and then checking them reviews and stuff like that. So booking 7 different places to stay is going to be a massive challenge for us. So we're going to try and do a couple tonight. And I think if we can just do a couple each night, like the problem is we kind of want a different experience where we stay. So like, for example, Bangkok, we've gone for somewhere that's quite modern, quite luxurious because we're in the city. Whereas when we go to Chiang Mai, I think we want something more like jungle-ish, so to speak. Like we'd probably go more like an Airbnb in Chiang Mai. And then when we go down to Krabi, that's like got beautiful islands near it. So we're going to use Krabi as like a base and do day trip. So it's like, what sort of thing do we want to, where do we want to stay in Krabi? Like obviously there's like chains of hotels all across the country. I think in Bangkok we're staying in a Hilton maybe, or was that the one we didn't stay in? I don't know. One of them, I was reading the reviews, I was like, oh god, this looks so nice. And then I read like people's reviews and they were like, just to warn you, this is right in the middle of the light district, like where all of the go to work. And so if you've got families, don't go there. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna take that one off my top 3. So reviews are important, don't get me wrong. Like before, I used to just book a hotel based on like price and how far it was from the airport. But I do understand the importance now. And obviously like, especially going to a country where we don't speak the language, there's that safety element. And also because we are traveling around, we want to kind of be close as possible to everything so that we don't spend half our time in taxis or tuk-tuks. So yeah, but I will be vlogging the whole trip. So I'm so excited. Okay, the next product I'm using is Trigwell Cosmetics Cheek and Eye Blush. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever put this colour on my eyes, but this is the colour. This is in shade Tropic Like It's Hot. My Made by Mitchell blush was quite corally, so I thought this would look quite nice. I think it's quite pigmented. I showed you guys this in a video before, but I don't know if I've actually used it, so I'm a bit scared. Oh, that is very pigmented. Very pigmented. Wow, can I just brush this off somewhere? I need to clean this anyway, so just remove some of that excess. I think I might have to go back in my bronzer brush because that is bright. There was already some product left on that brush, so it probably wouldn't be as bright. Just gonna go over my bronzer just to dull it down a bit. Oh, so nice. This literally feels this would you call it a foundation? Well, what is it actually called? The HNB, the Glow Tint. Feels like I haven't got anything on my skin. Like my skin feels really moisturised. I don't know if that's the setting powder or what, but yeah, it feels so nice. Yeah, I quite like that. I mean, it's very bright, but we move. I don't know whether it's the powder or the concealer, but I don't feel like I've got much coverage on my under eyes at all. But I think because normally I double up, but I've put powder on now, so we'll just have to leave it as it is. Right, I'm gonna go in with, again, I don't know if you can get this on TikTok shop, but this is the brow product I live by. Be Perfect Cosmetics Instructive Brow Lock and Load. I only ever use the pomade, but there is, if you unscrew it, actually a, what is that called? Like a gel, but I find the consistency too hard to work with, so I just literally use, I just use the pomade side just to give my brows a little bit of colour. I haven't done soap brows today because I am waiting. I've ordered the soap brows that have gone viral on TikTok with a company called By Ellie. And they basically do soap style brows, like the laminate look, and then they just do a texture one. So I've ordered both because I had a sale one, and I think the soap brow look is going to be more when I do full glam, and then the textured one is like a it's got like a mascara wand, so I think that will be more for just like every day. So but when I'm just doing the pomade, I will just literally put it through my brows and then just brush it up with the other end. This has got a little bit of brow soap just left on it, but yeah, all my brushes need a good clean. I'm not advocating for dirty brushes by any means. Yeah, I feel like I have been off YouTube for what feels like forever, but obviously after losing Joey and then trying to get back into work and things like that, like I've just felt a bit like I have got nothing to say. Like I felt very like invalidated. I felt very much like, why would anyone want to hear what I've got to say? But I kind of had to sit down and have a talk with myself, like going into the new year, like next year for me is all about doing things that improve my well-being. So like going to Thailand, we've booked Budapest again to go see Coldplay. Like nothing can be as bad as this year has been for myself, my family and Danny's family. But I'm like, next year is a fresh start. Like we're just gonna try and make beautiful memories and try and enjoy being in the present, because for me, like the best part of being sober is the fact that I'm present, and I feel like I have been so wrapped up in like drama, grief, illness. Like it's just been a lot this year. Like I don't think we've had a single month where something hasn't gone wrong or something bad has happened to like someone within my close circle. So next year I'm just like actively pursuing things that make my heart happy, and YouTube is something that makes my heart genuinely happy. Like I'm not one of them people that comes on here for views or things like that. Like it's almost like therapy. So yeah, I'm gonna try and just sit in front of the camera, see what happens. And for me, talking about makeup, talking about my life is the easiest way to come back to YouTube. So yeah, and I know like Christmas is coming up, and like for us sober girls and guys, like it's a really hard time of year. Like if you follow me on TikTok, you'll have seen that I've had like quite a few conversations about being sober at Christmas recently, because like the adverts, like every single advert is like about drink, you know, being merry, the excessive drinking, you know, all the deals that are on with drinking. And I was watching telly the other day, and Guinness, shout out to Guinness, have dedicated a whole ad campaign to their alcohol-free beer. Is it called a beer? Or is it called now? Oh, the Guinness Zero. And the tagline was "Be present this Christmas" or something, the gift of presents. I don't know, it was basically saying like, that was it was said, a Christmas to remember. And I was like, yes, like that is why we get sober, because we want to be with our loved ones, we want to remember, we don't want to cause chaos. And that is such like a beautiful thing that we should be celebrating. Right, I'm going in with this. This is fine mist as well, but I'd say that that one is even finer. I wish I had smell-o-vision, because this literally smells like hairspray, but I'm here for it. I mean, it says that it's no transfer, which is amazing, but the only thing I will say about this is it feels like it's locking in my makeup into my pores. Like now I can feel my makeup, so I'm actually going to go in with this to kind of activate my hydration again. Oh wow, that feels so much nicer. Yeah, I definitely rate this one more, even though I've bought two of that one. But do you know what? I think that'd be really, really good for brides, because obviously you've got makeup on all day, you're wearing white normally. So I'm not mad I've got it, but you know, I feel like for personal everyday use, I prefer this one. I also said to Danny, I was like, next year I really want to learn to ride a horse, which sounds so random, but I just feel like it's a skill you should know. Like if the world came to an end and the only transport we had was horses, like the OG transport, I wouldn't know how to do that. So I actually went onto a local riding school's website, and it's £45 a lesson. That is a whole set of eyelashes, which will last me 2 weeks. For an hour, £45. And I'm like, I don't know how many lessons I would need to learn to ride, but I mean, when you learn to drive a car, you need like 100 hours behind you or something, don't you? So like, I don't know about that one actually. So yeah, so I don't know, I might still try and learn. This is Peaches and Cream. This is from their newer, it's like a pinky nude set that they brought out I want to say September. No. June. They brought it out in June. It was like their summer nudes, and I love Peaches and Cream. I love the products, and they, I believe, are on TikTok Shop. Oh my god, guys! Since you've seen me, I've had my lips done as well. I literally had like 0.75, 0.8, and I think I want them bigger. Cause I just completely lit that area. I think I want them slightly bigger, to be honest, because I just feel like unless I've got my lip liner on, I don't think it looks massively different. And I wanted it subtle, I did, but now that I've got them, I'm like, nah, let's not have subtle. I don't know, I'll see. Like, I'm not rushing into it. I literally had them done maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it was before I started my door or not. I don't know. I always do my eyeliner on the outer corner as well, because I find this helps everything blend and it gives you more of an ombre, which I love. Yeah, so I'm planning on coming back to YouTube. I'm probably going to do some sober related videos. I know that come January, a lot of people do dry January, which in my personal opinion, the first month of going sober is the worst month, because it takes 6 weeks to change a habit, right? So the first month, you're literally just like a child without their dummy. Like, even if you don't drink every day, like, a lot of people that drink regularly, their drink has some sort of emotional crutch, in the sense it might give you courage to socialise, it might enable you to like talk to the opposite sex or the same sex. Yeah, like a lot of people drink for a reason that isn't necessarily just they like taste, if you get what I mean. So the first month without it is the hardest month, because you're like you don't know what to do yourself, if you know what I mean. So like, a few people have spoken to me about, oh yeah, I think I'm going to do dry January, and I was literally like, don't do it. Like, if you want to try and see what life is like being sober, the first 3 months are the hardest, because it takes like 3 months. Like in my month 3, that's when you start to get your emotions back, and like then you learn, and your journey kind of starts. Like, once you've gotten rid of the desire and the craving to drink, then you have to learn to like feel your emotions and like live without it, and like go to situations where drink will be there but you're not partaking. So like, doing it for a month is actually probably going to put you off going sober, if I'm being really honest. I think if you want to try sobriety, then it should be a minimum of 6 months, just to put that out there. Like, I get it if you want to detox and stuff like that. That is cute. Sorry, I was using Dole Beauty Come to Mama in the centre of my lips. And then I'm going to go in with Peaches and Cream lip gloss in suede. I haven't used this in ages and I love it. Yeah, so if you've got any questions about sobriety, if you want me to talk about, you know, stillbirth, HELP syndrome, I'm really happy to talk about anything. I just want to come back and be consistent, because I love it. I love YouTube so much, and yeah, I really miss it. How nice does that look? Right, I've used the Dole Beauty bronzer on my eyes, by the way, just for a little bit of colour, and I'm just gonna use the Age Defining No. 7 mascara. I'm not a mascara girly. I get my lashes done, so it's literally just for my bottoms. Like, I don't care. I was also thinking, I wonder if that non-transfer setting spray would work on lips. Because like, that's where I really need no transfer. Like, lovely not to get foundation on my clothes and all that, but if I could keep my lipstick on all day and not have to top it up, that would be a game changer. But we shall see. Right, let's just brush through my fake eyelashes, sort out my hair, and then I am good to go, I think. Oh dear. I'm due to get my lashes done on Friday, and I don't know what's happened with this infill. I think I must be having a lash shed, because I feel like I wash my lashes every 2 days and blow dry them, but yeah, I feel like they're just not playing ball this time. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think anyone could tell, but do you know, like, sometimes your lashes don't do what you want them to do if you wear false eyelashes all the time, like I do. I've been going for hybrid lashes, and I really do prefer it, to be honest. Like, it feels less in your face. Like, obviously you can still tell that these are fake lashes. I'm not trying to, like, I'm not trying to trick anyone and think that I grew up with lashes this bushy. But yeah, I don't know, I just feel like, because like every day for work I don't really wear makeup, I just like got my lashes and a bit of brow gel on. Having Russians on looks a bit heavy. But yeah, so I'm going to sort my hair out and get ready for the day. I'm going to go to see my wonderful friend Emma. We're going to go for lunch, take Luna for a walk, so I'm really looking forward to it. It is so nice to be back on YouTube, and hopefully you will see a lot more of me, and this video has given me my confidence back. If I don't see you, have a lovely rest of your day, and thank you so much for watching.